It's been more or less 5 years since I first played Satisfactory. It was, let's say, a very different game back then. 5 years and many updates later, we are finally about to witness the 1.0 release. Yes, the final version, no more update 6 or experimental branch shenanigans. This is it, folks, a full release with a story and everything. But before we dive into what makes Satisfactory 1.0 so, well, let's say satisfactory. Sorry, I had to. I know some of you might be thinking, wait, what is Satisfactory anyway? Should I even care? So let's break it down real quick for the uninitiated. Satisfactory is at its core a first-person factory building and automation game where you're being dropped into an alien world with nothing but your wits and a trusty build tool. Your goal? To harvest the planet's resources and create the most efficient, sprawling, beautifully chaotic factory possible. It's like Minecraft meets Factorio, but in glorious sprawling 3D across distinct biomes, each with their own unique challenges and resources. You gather material, automate production lines, and turn this pristine alien world into your personal industrial empire. So what's new in Satisfactory 1.0? What makes this final release so special? Well, one of the biggest additions is the introduction of a proper story mode. That's right, after years of players just building for the love of it, the devs came to throw in a narrative structure to give you the sense of a purpose. You'll finally find out why you've been setting up the massive production lines and shipping resources off-world, at least we hope. No spoilers, but let's just say you might start questioning whether all that alien planet exploitation is really for the greater good.
Your waves lap at our shores. When will you land? Defile with scripture.
And speaking of things we've been waiting on forever, Mercer Spheres,
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
Somersloops, and mysterious S.A.M, or we called it S.A.M Ore back then. You know, all those weird collectibles that have been sitting in our inventory doing nothing finally have a purpose. It's about time, right? Let me break it down real quick. The Mercer Spheres, you're going to want these to build the Dimensional Depot. This beauty serves as a multi-dimensional wireless storage container. Think of it as a bottomless inventory you can access everywhere and anywhere from your inventory, no matter where you are on this world. No more running back and forth to the storage containers across your base just to grab a couple of more screws. Your days of walking shamefully from one end of the factory to the others are finally over. And those Somersloops you've been hoarding, now they're used to build things like the Power Augmenter, which does exactly what it sounds like. Boosts your power grid to even more power. No more worrying about your coal generators failing right when you need them the most. Just give the grid a little oomph and keep those machines churning. Additionally, turbo fuel gets an upgrade with ionized fuel. This new resource is more efficient, and if you're using it in your jetpack, it will give you even more thrust. Now, one thing I'd recommend, especially for returning players, is starting over from scratch in Satisfactory 1.0. I honestly don't even know if you can carry saves over to the final release. I would guess so, but I wouldn't bet on it. The game has changed so much, and with all the new systems, tools and resources available, starting fresh will give you a better experience. The biomes have been tweaked and the flow of resources is more refined. So even if you've been building since day one, starting over will let you appreciate how far the game has come, see the new resource nodes, and honestly, I know it hurts with a 400-hour plus factory building. Speaking of biomes, if you're wondering where you set up your hub, there's a quick overview for anyone who has not been playing Satisfactory before. You have the grassy fields. This is the beginner's paradise, wide open spaces, lots of room for large factories, and an abundance of iron and copper. If you're new to the game or just want an easygoing start, this is the spot. We've all been starting there at some point. Rocky deserts, if you want a bit of a challenge while having access to plenty of resources, the Rocky Desert gives you iron, copper, and limestone close together, but be prepared for uneven terrain. It's not as builder friendly. The Northern Forest, great for players who want to balance factory building with beautiful surroundings. It's dense with resources, but you will need to navigate through trees and foliage. The Dune Desert, for the experienced player looking for a challenge, this area is resource rich but harsh. Water is scarce, there are a few spots though, but the wide open spaces are great for massive mega factories. My favorite starting location, honestly. And for the rest of the updates, you can expect general quality of life improvements, new production tools, and fine-tuning to keep your factory running smoothly. Blueprints have been enhanced, I heard. Now let's talk about multiplayer. For those who love the idea of co-op factory building, or maybe just supervising your friends while they do all the work, Satisfactory has multiplayer, though it can still be a little, let's say, wonky from my experience. It's great when it works, but don't be surprised if a few things don't behave as expected. You and your friends can still work together to create massive factories or blow up the environment around you with explosives. Though not your actual factory, just big boulders and such. It's all about efficiency with a side of chaos. And here's a cool addition for those who love a challenge. The late game content has been fleshed out significantly, so once you've built your dream factory, there are more advanced production goals to keep you busy. From nuclear power plants, if you like, to alien tech. Now the big question, should you buy Satisfactory 1.0 if you don't have a copy yet? Well, what are you waiting for? If you're into factory building, automation, and the thrill of creating something enormous from nothing, then absolutely. The game has come a long way since its early access and experimental days, and with the final release it feels polished, expansive, and ready to consume a good chunk of your free time. I mean, it was doing that earlier, but now even more when we have to start over, right? The addition of the story mode and the newfound purpose of those mysterious items like the Mercer Spheres will make this final version feel like the full package. Of course, Satisfactory isn't for everyone. If you're not into optimizing production lines, or you find the idea of resource management boring, this might not be the game for you. But if that sounds like your thing, you're going to love what Satisfactory has to offer. Before I wrap up, something very important. A huge thank you to the team at Coffee Stain Studios. Your always open communication with the community, your fun, hilarious trailers, and the continuous work on the game over the years have kept us all coming back for more. You guys have been keeping the factory building hype alive, and it's been a joy to watch Satisfactory evolve thanks to your dedication. All in all, Satisfactory 1.0 is shaping up to be a fantastic conclusion to this game's development. Whether you're a returning player who's been following the updates for years, or a newcomer curious about what all the hype is about, there's something here for everyone. Plus, who doesn't want the satisfaction of watching a perfectly designed factory hum along at peak efficiency after planning everything with your endless Excel spreadsheets? That's all I've got on Satisfactory. What do you think? Are you excited? I definitely will be, and can't wait to start our community server. Drop a comment, maybe like, subscribe, or even join the Discord. You know the drill. Thank you so much for watching, happy building, and take care of yourself.